Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into large language models, LLMs. You've definitely heard the hype, you've probably even used the tools, but what is really going on behind that screen? Let's pull back the curtain and demystify the tech that's changing our world, like right now.
Okay, let's just kick things off with a number that'll kind of blow your mind. 4.61 billion. That's how many times people visit ChatGPT every single month. That makes it one of the most visited websites on the entire planet. So yeah, this isn't some niche tech thing anymore. It's a global phenomenon, and figuring it out is becoming pretty essential. But that massive number of users, that's really just the tip of the iceberg. The real story, the one happening behind the scenes, is how LMMs are becoming an absolute business juggernaut, totally transforming industries from the inside out. And we're not just talking about the big tech giants. No, companies all over the map are weaving this tech right into how they work. Take Instacart. They're using it to debug code faster, which means a smoother app for you and me. For Amazon, it's all about creating those scarily accurate product recommendations. And Yelp? They're using it to automate content moderation, which helps keep their platform a whole lot safer for everyone. Okay, so that's the massive scale of it all. But how does this stuff, this magic, actually work? Let's peel back the layers for a second and take a look under the hood. So, what even is an LLM? Well, at its very core, it's a huge neural network that's been trained on just a colossal amount of text from the internet. But here's the crucial part to get. It isn't thinking. It's a super sophisticated prediction machine, and its entire job, its only job, is to figure out the most likely word to come next in a sentence. And this quote from AI researcher Andrej Karpathy just nails it perfectly. When he talks about billions of parameters, you can just think of those as all the little connections the model uses to understand language. It's like a giant statistical map of the internet, a lossy, probabilistic zip file of human knowledge. I love that. So how do you even create this zip file? Well, the training basically happens in three big stages. First is pre-training, where the model just reads a massive chunk of the public internet to build its basic knowledge. Then comes fine-tuning, where actual human experts teach it how to be a useful assistant by showing it tons of examples of good conversations. And finally, through reinforcement learning, it sharpens its skills by practicing tasks and getting rewarded when it gives helpful, accurate answers. All right, so now that we have a bit of a handle on how they're built, we can really start to understand why they behave the way they do. Both their incredible power and, just as importantly, the critical pitfalls that come right along with it. And this gets to maybe the biggest misunderstanding people have about these tools. We tend to see them as these all-knowing oracles, like a perfect database of facts. But the reality? It's totally different. An LLM's goal isn't really to be truthful. Its main goal is to be convincing by just predicting the next most probable word. This, of course, leads to a really critical question, one that anyone who uses AI has to face. What happens when the most probable answer just isn't the true answer? Well, when an LLM just confidently makes stuff up, there's a name for it. It's called a hallucination. And trust me, it happens a lot more than you might think. There was this one famous case where ChatGPT completely invented a fictional character and role for an actor in a video game he had absolutely nothing to do with. And this really gets to the heart of the matter. The model's number one goal isn't factual accuracy. It's to generate a response that seems helpful and probable, a response that convinces you it's useful. That's not a bug, it's a feature. It's by design. But it's not just about getting facts wrong. Relying too much on LLMs might actually be changing how we think. There was this fascinating study from MIT where they measured brain activity during writing tasks. And what they found was that writers who used LLMs showed minimal neural engagement compared to people writing without help. We're essentially outsourcing our brain power, which raises some big questions about the long-term effects on our own creativity and critical thinking. And the technology is pushing into some truly uncharted and, frankly, kind of weird territory. There's this booming digital afterlife industry popping up where people can create AI avatars of their deceased loved ones. And this is raising some profound ethical red flags, with researchers at Cambridge even warning about the potential for being, and I quote, digitally stalked by the dead. Wow. So with all that said, where is this all going? Let's take a quick peek at the cutting edge of LLM development and the major players who are shaping what comes next. The race to build the next great AI is it's intense, and the top models are starting to specialize.
You can kind of think of it like choosing the right tool for the right job. OpenAI's next model looks like it's going to be the Swiss Army knife, a great all-arounder for your daily tasks. Anthropic's Claude is really carving out its space in handling super complex, nuanced reasoning. And then you have Google's Gemini, which just keeps pushing the limits of thinking, especially for those really tough problems in science and math. Ultimately, this technology is becoming less of a simple tool and more of a mirror. It reflects our own knowledge, our biases, and it's forcing us to ask these incredibly deep questions about intelligence, creativity, even mortality. As we build these systems to be more and more powerful, the challenge for all of us isn't just about what the technology can do, but what we as a society decide we should do with it.